So one of the things during the years is that Israel decided if we can't send them back to their country of origin, we're going to try and send them somewhere else. So part of this anti-infiltration law that was established in 2012 was the opening of something called the Hulot Detention Center. And Mr. Eli Yishai, who was the Interior Minister at 2012, stated very clearly what the intention was. He said, if we can't deport them, we will make their lives miserable until they choose to voluntarily leave. And so what would happen was people would be summoned to the Hulot Detention Center and they would be given a nice brochure in the other hand, which said, voluntarily leave. You can, if you would like, go back to your country or go to another country that we have organized for you. We will pay for the flight ticket and we will also give you a $3,500 departure gift, and you can go and start your life there. The third country was never mentioned what it was. It was another African country that Israel had organized for them. As soon as Israel started sending people to third countries, we at the hotline, the organization where I work for, began monitoring what is really going on in these third countries. The state never said what the name is, even to people who were leaving. They never had any documentation until they arrived in the airport that said where they were going. And we knew that they were going to Uganda and Rwanda. They passed it was just a policy amendment saying that they are going to issue deportation orders to the third countries, and anyone who doesn't comply, they're going to put them in a proper detention, closed detention, not like this open Hulot detention center that they had created, in a proper closed detention center until they agree to leave. So they had been smuggled from Rwanda to Uganda, then to South Sudan, Sudan, Libya, across the Mediterranean, and to Europe. Every single one of them had either been given refugee status in Europe or were waiting to hear from their refugee claim in Europe. Where in Israel they had been called infiltrators over and over, in Europe they were found to be refugees. The report based on these 19 testimonies said the conclusion was that throughout the journey, the refugees were subjected to human trafficking, incarceration, the threat of forcible deportation to Eritrea, harsh conditions of starvation, violence, slavery and torture camps in Libya, and a dangerous crossing of the Mediterranean Sea from Libya to Europe. Many witnessed the death of fellow travelers. Among the dead were others who had left Israel voluntarily. It says in the report that 18 of the 19 interviews were conducted in Hebrew. There is today in Europe a Hebrew-speaking Eritrean diaspora of people who lived for anywhere between 5 to 10 years in Israel, who learnt the language, who worked, who paid taxes, who lived amongst us, and then were sent away.